Thank you, Ida. Good morning, everybody. I'm calling the calling to order a special meeting of the Board of Directors, September 6, 2023 at 10:35 a.m. Are you aware of any just cause notifications and emergency circumstance requests, Ida?
I am not.
No, okay, no one else. All right, moving on to roll call, please.
Chair Campbell,
Here.
Vice Chair Shirley,
Here.
Director Laska, Director Delgado, Director Blackwelder,
Here.
Director Askew,
Here.
Director Peak, Director Barber, Director Ferlito.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, thank you. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. This being a special meeting, well, there's no need for a general public comment. So we're moving on to item 1 for discussion action, approve resolution 2023-07, authorizing ReGen Monterey to apply for the CalRecycle fiscal year 2023-24 cycle 41 household hazardous waste grant program, small projects grant. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. At this point, we'd like this committee and this board to take action around approving a resolution for resolution 2023-08, authorizing ReGen Monterey to apply for a CalRecycle grant. We did go through the process of applying for hazardous household waste grant, about 50,000, and there was 8 criteria for it, and we chose criteria around battery. We are aware we have a significant battery problem within our collection system, and this was an opportunity for us to enhance programs within member agencies areas. So we are going to be targeting the member agencies and looking at the city hall pickups or a location that they could designate at their choosing for a battery collection area. This would give us an opportunity to collect more batteries, and some of the justification around it, year to date, we collected about 39,000 pounds of batteries, 90% of it coming from the MRF, which is pretty scary and significant.
And sorry, what percentage?
It's 90% of the total battery collection is coming from the MRF floor, which puts us at a significant risk of our investment, the $40 million investment if we were to have a catastrophic fire at our MRF. Everybody's involved in the risk, the collection companies that service the member agencies and municipalities are faced with the same challenge. If they have a collection vehicle that catches fire, that could cost the municipality and the private agency that's doing the collection near $400,000 in an investment of a collection vehicle. 2 weeks ago, I was at the top of the face of the landfill at the end of the day. And by the time I made it down to the landfill, we were going through a fire procedure to put out a fire at the top of the landfill. And these are all battery indicated started fires. And so we want to do a better job of taking them. So this is an opportunity for us. We went through the process of putting the grant application together, but in an effort for it to be received, we need the resolution from this board to proceed with the support of our application of that grant document. We have 32 landfill fires to date this year, and we've had 6 more fires to date. And with that, I felt there was enough justification around this to reinvent or recreate the desire to keep batteries out of our collection system and have a better process of collecting them. I did reach out to Green Waste Recoveries, who's the collection provider for 7 of the member agencies, and they have the willingness to support our endeavor to collect batteries at selected stations within those service areas. So at this point, we do have a tentative agreement with Green Waste Recoveries to help support a collection where this agency wouldn't have to send somebody to pick up the batteries and retrieve them. It would be collected by your service provider today. So I'm pretty excited about the opportunity. Did I miss anything there?
I can add a couple details if you wish. So the majority of the application was around defining and implementing a battery collection program in several or more of the member agency community. That's the big ask in the grant. Then there was some small equipment facility related improvements also included in the grant application for the HHW facility itself. Separately, this is a big topic, not only in California, but it's across the nation now. In California, the legislative task force for Solana just formed a subcommittee around fires in collection vehicles, transfer and processing facilities, and landfills. And that was in the last 2 weeks, and I'm a member of that committee, so I'll look to give the board some updates as that progresses on how they choose to influence the state leaders around that topic.
I know around the holidays, there's lots more battery usage with Christmas lights and Halloween lights and everything else. Is there any way to put out some announcements on the radio and everything else about?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, good. And then, I have always felt that we don't push the manufacturers of products enough to be the recycling responsible person. Like you go to buy batteries, if there was a canister there where you put your old batteries in and, those were taken en masse, but this is such a huge problem everywhere that I think we have to look at absolutely every possibility of informing people how dangerous this is. And I know they're having problems with lithium or the batteries that are in EV bicycles, even catching garages on fire, apartments on fire. There's a list of which ones seem to be the most explosive, and we can put that information out there to landlords as well as the general public, because it's only going to get worse.
Agreed. I totally agree. And there is some legislation that's at the governor's office or at the state of California that's looking through manufacturer responsibility. So we'll see the outcomes of that.
Okay.
Wendy, do you have anything to ask or say?
I don't. I'm fully supportive of this resolution to apply for these funds, and I think we've got a great communications team that's prepared to do the outreach work for education and putting some systems in place. Hearing that 90% was coming, of collection is coming from them, like that's a really frightening figure when you understand, when you know what that means. I will say, like, prior to coming onto the ReGen board, I don't think I knew what that meant or why that was problematic. So there's definitely opportunities for learning in the community.
And I think if you gave us those stats that we could quote, we make announcements at the beginning of each city council meeting from our various committees. I would be happy to make an announcement at that meeting, as I'm sure everybody else would, about this problem.
We'll deliver the stats.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm fully supportive.
I know we're not here to solve your problem, but regardless. If it does rise to the level of public safety, maybe, I know that we're to tape the batteries in a bag on top of the, if we just to put no batteries on each one of the containers,
Right.
skull and crossbones or whatever, just so that people don't put them in there and find a different way to collect batteries. It's just too confusing for people. If they see tape it there, they'll just think, oh, put it in there, kind of a thing. Anyway, just but full support. So I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion.
Second,
All right, motion is second. I have a couple of questions or comments because, so one of my issues, just as a consumer, is, Home Depot, not to pick on them, but a lot of places sell really cheap, for example, solar lights, which work for a few months and then you want to get rid of them. And you think, oh, they're mostly metal, I'll throw them in the recycling or whatever, but they have a battery, a lithium ion battery in them that you wouldn't normally think about. And so, I mean, even if I threw this away, how could I get the battery out of here and get it recycled properly? When, I mean, that's the thing, is I feel like a lot of these batteries are actually hidden inside the actual tools, and alkali batteries, which is what we're, normally put in the bags and thing. I don't think those are really as much of a fire hazard as a lithium ion. Maybe they are. But I feel like maybe when we go to recycle, it's like, well, the people should be able to recycle the entire electric toothbrush, right? Instead of figuring out how to get the battery out of there and recycling the battery, saying, okay, here's the thing that has a battery in it. You guys deal with it. Is that?
Yeah, if I may, the state does have some laws going through right now, one related to extended producer responsibilities for batteries, and a second for battery embedded products, which is what you're referring to. Because there are many products where batteries are embedded and sometimes they're not able to be retrieved. Like with your cell phone, I believe you can figure out a way to take out the battery, but there are some products that are manufactured with a lithium ion battery in it that's not removable. So when the product reaches its end of life, there's no way to get it out. So there's going to be some help with regards to the state level to make sure that items that are battery embedded are also included in the extended producer responsibility portion of the bill.
Okay, great. I'm glad they're working on it, thinking about it. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any public comment on this? Everybody online, raise your hand or? No?
And just a note, the resolution is resolution number 2023-8. On the agenda is listed as 7.
7, okay, thank you. All right, seeing no public comment, we'll close public comment. So we will have a roll call vote on approving this resolution 2023-08.
Director Askew,
I,
Director Blackwelder,
Yes.
Director Ferlito,
yes,
Director Vice Chair Shirley,
Yes.
Chair Campbell,
Yes,
motion passes. Those
Yeah.
present,
that's 5 yes and 4 absent.
yes.
All right, any general manager communications?
No.
Okay, board communications, I just want to let everyone know who's here that I will not be able to be at the meeting, the board meeting at the end of this week. So, Shirley will, Shirley will be, acting in. Thank you very much for doing that. All right, that's all I have. Anyone else? Think no further business on the agenda. We'll adjourn this meeting.